Hey, welcome in. Today I'm going to show you the tech stack behind PatternTyping.com, and I'm going to hand you one mental model that makes the rest of web development way less confusing. Think of this as everything you actually needed from college, but at 1.5x playback speed. No fluff, one training, one foundation, then we build. The sorting board, vanilla versus libraries versus frameworks. Before we talk about our stack, we need one quick training that will save you hours later. Vanilla, libraries, frameworks. And I'm going to say this up front because people always ask. Can I tell if something's a library or framework just by the name? No. There's no universal naming indicator. You don't get a label. You memorize it over time. And here's the rule of thumb that will keep you sane. Libraries usually play nicely with other libraries. Frameworks usually do not play nicely with other frameworks. Most real projects pick one framework, then plug in libraries around it. Also, no one can guarantee any JavaScript libraries always work together perfectly. Sometimes they conflict. Same function names, different expectations, small overlaps cause weird bugs. But most of the time, libraries work with libraries, and libraries work inside one selected framework. That's the normal approach. Now the web basics. Super quick, super practical. HTML is the skeleton, CSS is markup for style, and JavaScript is the muscle. It's the part that moves things around and makes the site interactive. So if you can picture that, HTML is structure, CSS is appearance, JavaScript is movement and interaction. And AI? That's the brains behind the scenes. It's the intelligence layer that makes everything smarter. All right, let's put on the chart one selected framework. Next.js is our framework. It handles the structure, routing, pages, builds, and deployment. And here's an important note. React is a library, not a framework. A lot of developers, even ones with CS degrees, sometimes call React a framework because older templating tools were often frameworks. But React is just a UI library that helps you build components. It doesn't define the whole app structure. So in our stack, Next.js, core UI library, React. Libraries, plugins around the framework. Now let's fill in the libraries around it. UI plus styling. @Mantine core, UI components, buttons, models, layouts. @Mantine hooks, hooks for UI behavior. Emotion React for components. Animation, Framer Motion for smooth animations. Marked, converts Markdown into HTML. State plus data handling. Zoostand state management. Immer for easier immutable updates. Validation or safety nets. Zod schema validation. Backend services, Firebase, handles things like authentication, database, and storage without us having to run our own servers. Stripe for handling payments, subscriptions, and anything money related. And just to note, React DOM is in there too, because it's what connects React to the browser's DOM. So that's the chart. One framework, Next.js, and a set of libraries that plug into it. What den/build actually means. Let's quickly touch on the basic lifecycle you see in the package JSON. The dev is your local development server. It's for coding and iterating quickly. Build creates the production version of your app. That's what you'll deploy. Start runs that production build so you can see how it works live. Lent checks your code for common mistakes. And yes, we're using TypeScript to add some guardrails, so we catch errors early. Why these specific libraries fit pattern typing. Now let's tie this back to PatternTyping.com. We need something that's interactive, stateful, and remembers user progress. That's why we have Marked for turning Markdown lessons into HTML, Zoostand for managing app state like user progress, Immer for easy predictable state updates, Zod for making sure our data is valid, Mantine for a solid UI toolkit, so we're not reinventing the wheel. Framer Motion for smooth animations, Firebase for persistence, auth, storage, database, Stripe for handling payments, Next.js sits above all of it, keeping the structure clean. Our part 6, building faster with Codex, how we actually generate code. Finally, let's talk about how we build this quickly. We use Codex to help generate code. It's like having a super fast coding assistant that handles the repetitive stuff and lets us focus on the unique parts. You steer, Codex accelerates. It's not magic, it's just a really good boost once you know your structure. Wrap up. Why this training matters? So now you've got the map. HTML is the skeleton, CSS is the style markup, JavaScript is the muscle that moves things, AI is the brain. And you know how we sort tools. One framework, libraries around it. We also know that React is a library, Next.js is our chosen framework, and you've seen which libraries we're using for this project. All right, now we can actually build. And that's the full script. You're good to go.